Good afternoon and welcome to Biztech Asian Midday Marketwatch. Our guest today is Kian Soon, CEO of Austral Asset Management from Singapore. Kian Soon, welcome to your first Asian Midday Marketwatch.
Good afternoon, Brian. Happy to join.
Now, before we get your insights, Kian Soon, let's take a look at how crypto markets are performing, and then we'll take a look at how regional markets are performing. So if we look at crypto markets now, we've got Bitcoin, which is at 43,517.8. It's up 3.01%. Ethereum is at 3,019. It's up 3.77%. Now, if we look at how regional markets are performing, we've got the Nikkei, which is at 29,572.5. It's up 0.1%. Shanghai Composite is at 3,549.46. It's up 0.37%. The Hang Seng is at 24,450.73. It's down 0.86%. The ASX 200 is at 7,317.4, up sharply 1.68%. The Kospi is at 3,074.36. It's up 0.46%. Looking closer to home, we've got the SGX, which is up 0.48% at 3,089.14. And rounding up the numbers, we've got Bursa Malaysia, which is at 1,544. It's down 0.23%. Kian Soon, what's your view on market performance for the first half of the day?
I think for the first half of the day, we could see, there are more ups in the regional markets than downs. Generally, let's not forget, this is the last day of the trading week for this month of September. And it's also the end of a quarter, which means a lot of fund managers will be thinking about rebalancing the portfolios. And we will likely going to see more action in the coming afternoon. On top of that, for the Northeast Asia market, China and Hong Kong in particular, a lot of the fund managers have actually taken off because tomorrow is 1st of October, is the National Day of in China. So a lot of fund managers have taken a long weekend, and we will likely see less volume and traffic this afternoon.
Okay, Kian Soon, one of the numbers that have come out this morning from China are probably a little bit alarming for some investors, because for the first time in a long time, the PMI number for September came in at below 50%, 49.6%, below expectations according to a Reuters poll of 50.1. What's your view on this?
I guess it's the slowdown in numbers is obviously a cause of concern. But let's not forget that China actually has a great run in the first half of 2021. On that backdrop, the slowdown is anticipated partially because of a couple of reasons. One of them is we actually see more COVID-19 shutdowns in very small cities and areas in China, especially in the last 2 months. That's reason number one. The second reason is actually there is a slowdown in manufacturing as reported as a result of electricity shortage. And that's why the production is also affected in the recent weeks. I think that's reason number two. On top of that, I think on a year-on-year basis, definitely there's a slowdown because last year's number for the third quarter was actually quite high.
Now, Kian Soon, I want to zoom in on the power shortage issue. How bad is that, and what do you see the impact moving forward? Is that something that can be corrected fairly quickly?
So the power issue in China is drawing parallels with what we have seen in Europe, in particular UK. On the supply side, the most important thing is the cost of fuel and energy like coal, gas, natural gases have actually shot up to the roof. So a lot of the power suppliers in China is now producing electricity at a loss, which is not what they want to achieve. On top of that, there's actually no price hike allowed in China because there's a cap that is set by the government on all the electricity producers. So for every gigawatts of electricity they produce, they are running a huge loss. At the same time, the demand is actually very strong for power supply, in particular from the manufacturing side. And let's not forget, we are moving into the winter months. Weather is getting colder, in particular in the northeastern side of China. That's where we see the most severe cases of power shortage now, even for residential units. I think what the government is trying to do now makes sense. Basically, they are trying to make use of the nationwide logistic to make sure that energy is provided for the 9 provinces that faces a shortage now.
Now, Kian Soon, that's obviously going to have impacts and we're seeing it in prices already in terms of oil prices as well as gas prices, because as you mentioned, winter is coming and gas prices are through the roof in Europe.
Yes. This is a result of what I said in the last 2 years. There's basically a lot of neglect, or there's not enough investments made to make sure that the raw supplies of energy is continuously maintained. What I meant is very simply is there's no investment made by the energy producers or the oil giants to make sure that the infrastructure is maintained. And as a result, we also see a shortage of energy being produced globally. And that is the price of oil and the price of natural gas today is a reflection of the general neglect or the lack of investments into the energy producers for the last 2 years.
Now, Kian Soon, I want you to get your insights on a broader perspective. There's a lot of risks out there in the markets right now. Which are the risks that concern you the most, particularly with regard to Asia?
I think with regards to Asia, generally, the key risk I think we face now is still COVID-19. It's no rocket science. And apart from the few countries that have managed it fairly well, we could see that COVID-19 is still not under control in a huge part of Asia. The reason being a lot of countries have lack of access to vaccine supplies, and the amount of vaccination rate is fairly low compared to the developed countries. If you look at US, UK, and Europe, right, it's a different story, right? They are on the verge of reopening as a result, because their population in general is highly vaccinated. But apart from a few countries in Asia, I think this is not the case for the rest and majority of Asians.
Now, Kian Soon, thank you very much for coming on the show, and thanks for sharing your insights.
Thank you.
Now, we've been speaking to Kian Soon, CEO of Austral Asset Management from Singapore, on Biztech Asian Midday Marketwatch. I'm Brian Fernandez. This video will be on our various platforms as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thanks again for tuning in.